After 2 long years of putting this off, I have finally, and I mean finally, caught up to one of the best manga going on right now. That is... That's right, I finally managed to catch up to One Punch Man, and man was that a really, really awesome binge read. I actually read it during my trip to Greece back in the end of July to mid-August, and it was honestly one of the best reads ever I've had in a long time. And it's been a while since I just had a binge read where I was just like constantly going through each and every chapter quickly, and I was just very immersed in what I was reading and seeing. So let's hit that intro and get right into why One Punch Man is amazing. So really quick before I want to talk about the manga, apparently it has been confirmed that we are going to be getting One Punch Man Season 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been like, what, 3 years I believe since Season 2, and while it was kind of a disappointment with how the animation looked and with how weird the pacing was, I still enjoyed it upon first watching, but then I read the manga portion of that arc that was being adapted and I liked it a lot more. But with Season 3 being a thing now, I don't know if it's going to come out next year or the following year, but it's gonna cover more or less the arc that recently finished in the manga, most likely, because there's not really a good midway point to end the One Punch Man Season 3 anime, which means it's going to have to be a lot longer than the last 2 seasons, about 24 to 26 episodes max. Maybe make it a 2-core thing, which I think would benefit it a lot if it had more episodes and maybe the pacing would be fixed a lot. But it needs a new studio. Studio Dean won't be able to... Studio Dean is not a bad studio, but they were seemingly rushed and they're not... And it doesn't seem they have a lot of experience with action series. I mean, when Season 2 of One Punch Man came out, no one really cared for it. Just dropping the anime in popularity. And people only considering me watching Season 1 as a standalone thing. And stuff happened with Seven Deadly Sins. I mean, we all know the fall off of the Seven Deadly Sins anime when Studio Dean was given the task of animating those final 2 seasons, but not having enough time and resources to do it very well. But One Punch Man, on the other hand, is going to be very hard to adapt to near Berserk levels of difficulty in terms of needing to animate not just the action, but just the art in general used in the manga, which is one of the best things about the manga. It's been thrown around that MAPPA could pick this up and make it amazing, and I wouldn't put MAPPA past it. They've been picking up a lot of high-profile shonen series. We're literally getting Chainsaw Man in October. They're doing Hell's Paradise. They're finishing off Attack on Titan. They're doing JJK. There's a lot of stuff they're doing. They even took over Vinland Saga with the 2nd season. So if they decide to take One Punch Man, that would be big for the franchise, because I think MAPPA is the only studio right now that could potentially actually adapt One Punch Man well. It'd be killer on their staff with what we know about MAPPA's treatment of animators, but again, if it was going to be animated by MAPPA, I think everyone would be happy due to the fact that MAPPA has a good track record of anime, but, you know, in the back of our minds we'd be like, the animators must have been put through hell for this. But anyway, that was a really long tangent for me talking about the announcement of Season 3 of One Punch Man. Either way, I'm excited to see how they adapt it. If we get a good studio that can properly adapt the art and the action, then I'll be happy. It'll bring One Punch Man back up to the height of popularity in both manga and anime. Now let's talk about the reason you clicked on this video, and that is the One Punch Man manga. So let's just get this right off the bat. One Punch Man probably has some of the best art in manga right now. I put it up there with Kentaro Miura's artwork with Berserk, the One Piece's artwork, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There are a lot of other manga that I want to say, like Vinland Saga and Chainsaw Man. But the thing is, I like the artwork with how it's able to fluidly show action scenes, as well as how detailed the monster and character designs are. I mean, just look up Saitama versus King Orochi. That one 2-page spread is just freaking insane and metal as all hell, with so much detail towards it that I'm just like, did one man draw this? And the fight itself that we got from that thing was really cool too. Now, for those of you wondering why I decided to give One Punch Man manga a read, you're thinking, why are you considering this a really great and epic series? It's just a gag manga. And it is not a gag manga. It has a lot of comedic moments. It is a parody, for the most part, of superhero and shonen manga in general, with how the main protagonist is just insanely overpowered to take everyone down in one punch. But the whole emotional core is Saitama's relationship with other characters, and we get to see that evolve more in the arc that the anime is supposed to cover, if we get up to that point, as well as the other characters taking everything super seriously and everything with a straight face. All these characters see these world-ending threats, and they know that they have to do something, not knowing the true level of Saitama's power, aside from like King or Genos. They have to handle this themselves, and if they can't, the world is freaking screwed. And that's one of the things that One Punch Man does phenomenally, is that it establishes stakes, and you realize there are stakes for other characters. But with the second Saitama shows up, it's like, alright, these characters are safe. And we get some real good proper development for a lot of the side characters, primarily the top heroes, and even seeing them have some really awesome moments in fights. We see them fighting against near impossible odds as the strongest members of the Monster Association are brought forward. And it seems like this could be the end of the top S-rank heroes in the world of One Punch Man, only for them to either find a way to win in the end, or Saitama coming to save the day, or something else occurring that gives them the opportunity to win. One Punch Man is one of the hardest series to predict because it's just straight up unpredictable. The power scaling is just insane and ridiculous to think about, and you really shouldn't take the power scaling of that series seriously, because everything is a grand spectacle, from just filler monsters against like A rank and B rank heroes that are meant to basically be the future generation. And even though we don't really care too much about them, we get screen time with minor characters that are like someone in the background that could potentially be the next generation in this Monster Association arc that was read. And we're like, okay, we're concerned for their safety, and a lot of these characters do come in clutch when the time occurs. We also get really good development for Garo. I've been hearing non-stop how good Garo is as a villain, as an antagonist, as well as his motives and character. And now that I read One Punch Man, I fully understand. I love Garo, and I can't wait to see more of Garo. He had some of the best fights in this whole manga, in this arc. And I'm just very hyped to see more of Garo, because his character development and arc was just straight up amazing. Saitama even gets some development and some explanation on how he's so strong, kind of vaguely, but it was nice to know this. It gives me some sense of, alright, this actually explains some shit, and even sets up what is supposed to be the final villain of One Punch Man. Now obviously One Punch Man is based off of a webcomic made by the same creator as Mob Psycho 100, which, funnily enough, the third season is coming out now, and I think that's going to be the last season of Mob Psycho, I believe, because I think that's all the manga material being covered in that season, I believe, the final season. But yeah, when the current artist of One Punch Man, Yusuke Murata, was assigned by Shonen Jump to do the artwork for One Punch Man, everything was elevated to absurd degrees of detail and just amazement. One is a good storyteller, and Murata is a phenomenal artist. I just can't. Every single time he creates some sort of 2-page spread with some giant monster, or just background or action scenes, I'm like, this is some of the best shit I have seen in a long time. And now that I'm caught up, I'm just hyped whenever a new One Punch Man chapter comes out, because it's like, there's not really a set time for when chapters come out. They kind of come out as they go. But we know we're not going to wait a very long time for these chapters, because each and every chapter has some degree of immense detail that we understand why it takes so long for them to come out. Some of them are just done quickly in advance, and we just get them week after week, or every 2 weeks, or every month. And some of these chapters are like 100 pages. I think one of them was 200 pages. That's a full freaking volume. Hell, there are even moments where, with some of the paneling and the artwork, it almost feels like either stills from the anime, or literally it's like Murata is drawing the storyboards for an inevitable anime adaptation for these coming fights, and it really does feel that way. I mean, there is a fight in this Monster Association arc, which I'm not going to spoil fully, I'm just going to show a few panels of one of the S-rank heroes, Flashy Flash, I think he's the 5th ranked, fighting against 2 ninjas that got monsterized, and the way everything is paneled out and drawn and choreographed, it's almost like either stills from an anime or just straight up storyboards, like full storyboards with how things are done. And it's something I've come to appreciate a lot. Murata is a gifted artist. I must give credit where credit is due. One Punch Man probably wouldn't be as popular if we didn't have both the webcomic with a lot of stuff that I believe the current manga has cut out or is going to save for later, as well as the manga adaptation being done by Murata. Now, apparently there has been like some changes with this recent arc that Murata has done. I don't know if that upset fans or is like, okay, we're going in a new direction. But I think that's a relatively nice thing to do, to give the webcomic its own feel, its own thing, one story 100%. And then we get the manga with Murata's phenomenal art, but maybe changing a few things that maybe one wanted to change or Murata feels like would be good for the manga version of the story. I don't know, but either one is fine, and I'm planning to read the webcomic on the side for One Punch Man at some point. I have a lot of stuff I need to read, my god. But yeah, One Punch Man's manga is freaking phenomenal. The artwork is great, and I have to say, the story and characters continue to grow and evolve as the series progresses, to the point where when it started as basically just a parody or gag series at the very start, to being a full-on shonen epic, or seinen epic with how dark it can get, with all the characters being in their 20s and 30s and stuff like that. It's honestly very good. This is one of the best shonen manga I have read in a long time, and I can't wait to read more chapters. And you guys should give One Punch Man a read. If you're a huge One Punch Man fan, go give the manga a read. Either read the manga from the very beginning or right where the first or second season left off, and you'll see just how amazing this artwork is, how phenomenal it really is. It just gives you a sense of awe with how Murata manages to draw these panels and images. Is like, is this man even human? And one as a writer as well, with what we've got up until whatever Murata like swapped around or changed, is a really good writer. I mean, we can tell that from Mob Psycho 100 as a whole, with how great it is as a story. And One Punch Man has a lot of that aspect, despite with it being the first of one's many projects. But yeah, One Punch Man's manga is action-packed, the art is phenomenal, awe-inspiring, and the story continues to be really, really cool. Comedy, I didn't mention the comedy much in this video, but comedy for One Punch Man, still on point, still makes me laugh, gives me a nice smile, a nice smirk, and I adore it. But what did you guys think of this video? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below on your thoughts of One Punch Man as a whole, whether you read the manga, whether you didn't read the manga, if you read the webcomic, and what you think about it, and just your general thoughts and opinion on the series as a whole. If this video does well, I might actually start covering One Punch Man on the channel every now and again, whenever chapters release, and that would honestly be pretty fun to do. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for updates on future videos. It really does help and show you guys like videos like this one, and it'll also show that you guys want me to do One Punch Man in the future, which I do really want to do at some point, and if you guys want to, I will do One Punch Man content. But yeah, with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.